Hi there, my name's Andrew Dunn. I'm co-host of the Media Lunch Break podcast. This week on the podcast, we're talking about a movie called Masked and Anonymous, which was written by and stars Bob Dylan. I thought it'd be a nice companion video to talk a little bit about my favorite Bob Dylan lyrics. What gives me the authority to decide which Bob Dylan lyrics are better than other Bob Dylan lyrics, you ask? What are my credentials? I don't have any. I did collect Bob Dylan CDs when I was in high school, instead of having sex. I've been a fan of his since I was in the 5th grade. I've seen him perform live 3 times. I've got a framed photo of him around here somewhere. I've got maybe 8 books about him. And believe it or not, I've even read some of them. So I started writing them all down and putting them in order, and honestly, it got a little out of control. In advance, I am so sorry about this. This video is made for nobody. I don't know who's gonna watch this. I don't know who cares about this, but I guess I'm doing it. In this video, we're covering number 101 through 82. All right, let's do it. Number 101. They say the darkest hour is right before the dawn, but you wouldn't know it by me. Every day's been darkness since you've been gone. This is from the song Meet Me in the Morning. It's fine. I like it. I like the lyric. I think it's cute. I think it's fun, but it doesn't really say a lot. It doesn't really have a hidden meaning at all, it seems. It's pretty blatant, so that's why it's at the very bottom. But I like it still. Number 100. Broken dishes, broken parts, streets are filled with broken hearts. Broken words never meant to be spoken. Everything is broken. That's from the song Everything is Broken. I first heard that song on the Essential Bob Dylan, which was one of the first albums I ever got of his. It was just sort of an introduction to his music. I really like that song. It is kind of surface level. Again, there isn't a whole lot of hidden meaning. That's why it's at the back, but I do enjoy this song, and I like that line a lot. Number 99. I was feeling kind of lonesome and blue. I needed somebody to talk to, so I called up the operator of time just to hear a voice of some kind. When you hear the beep, it will be 3 o'clock. She said that for over an hour, and I hung up. I love that line. It's from the song Talkin' World War III Blues, and it implies that the operator's just going on a loop. The song, if you haven't heard it, is about a dream that Bob Dylan has had that has shocked him so much that he's going to talk to a therapist about it. And the dream is that he woke up one day to find that World War II had happened, and he now lives in a post-apocalyptic New York City. It's a great song. You should check it out. Number 98. She was born in the spring, but I was born too late. Blame it on a simple twist of fate. That's from the song Simple Twist of Fate, another one that I love very much. I actually sort of slept on this song until I heard Diana Krall sing it, and I love her version of it. I like this line because it clearly has a meaning of some kind. I'm not super sure what it is. She was born in the spring. I was born too late. Whatever it is, it's something that made it so that they couldn't work, and so he's blaming it on a simple twist of fate, which it is. Number 97. I do not feel that good when I see the heartbreaks you embrace. If I was a master thief, perhaps I'd rob them. That line is from the song Positively 4th Street, which, my God, if you haven't heard it, that song is one of the most savage songs I've ever heard in my life. Just 3 minutes of a guy tearing someone else apart verbally. It's incredible. But this lyric in particular is a moment of sympathy, of mercy. He spent the song tearing this person a new one, and then he says, you know what? I don't like that you feel the way you feel. I don't like that you feel bad. If I was a better thief than I am now, if I was a master thief, I'd steal it from you. And it's stealing because the person likes feeling that way, because it means that they can take their shit out on other people. I don't know. I really like this lyric. I like the song. We'll talk about another one that's kind of similar to it. You might already have it in your mind. It might be one that you're waiting for, because it's probably going to show up in here more than once. That is sort of similar in that it is also sort of pointing fingers at someone else and sort of talking shit about another person. But we'll get to that. Number 96. Following some clues in my detective bag, I discovered red stripes on the American flag. Betsy Ross. That's from John Birch Paranoid Blues. I absolutely adore this song. It is about the Red Scare, where everybody was super scared that the communists were coming over, and people started getting blacklisted. There are famous stories about people who they lost their job, they lost their family, they lost their mortgage, they lost the deed on their car. They couldn't work because they were blacklisted because people thought they were communists. And the whole point of this song is that this character that Bob Dylan is playing in the song is hyper paranoid about searching for communists. He's gonna find those commies, and they're the worst. And there's even a part in the song where he sneaks up on one. He says, hey, he has a gun, and he sneaks up on. He says, hands up, you communists, because he was trying to sneak into his house, he thinks, and then it turns out it's just the mailman. He's trying to put mail in his mailbox. Stuff like that. It's beautiful. But this lyric in particular, this is what it means. And it's a live performance, this song. I think it's the only actual recording. I don't think there was a studio recording. If there is, I haven't heard it. You can hear the audience throughout it, laughing, sort of giggling. And at this point, he says, I discovered red stripes on the American flag. What Bob Dylan is doing there is pointing out that the US has communist tendencies. And not only like actual communist tendencies, like we do have social programs, but also what the US government was accusing communists of. Fascism, corruption, nepotism. These are all baked into our political system. And when he says that line, you can hear the audience start to murmur to themselves. Throughout the song, you've heard them giggle and laugh. It's all fun and games. But as soon as he starts accusing the US government of that, everybody gets very serious very quickly. And so what does he do? He lightens it up with a joke. He says, Betsy Ross, implying that the woman who made the flag is a communist. And then everybody gives a big laugh. Now it's okay. He broke the tension. It's very funny. Also very serious. I really like this song. Give it a listen. Number 95. Dr. Filth, he keeps his world inside of a leather cup, but all his sexless patients, they're trying to blow it up. Honestly, the only reason I like this lyric is because it reminds me of Dr. Phil. It sounds like he's talking about Dr. Phil. It sounds like he's saying like, don't listen to this guy. He's a fucking fraud. And his name is Dr. Filth. But the song was released when Dr. Phil was 15 years old. I mean, I don't know his biography or anything, but I'm guessing he wasn't a doctor at 15. Anyway, I like that lyric. That lyric is from the song Desolation Row, by the way. Good song. Number 94. Liberty is just equality in school. This lyric is from the song My Back Pages. I like this line. It sounds nice. I don't think I agree with it, and I don't even really fully understand what it means. That's why it's so low on this list. So does this lyric mean that like liberty when fully formed becomes equality because it's just like a little kid in school? Or does it mean that when you have equality in school, you have liberty because liberty is equality in school? I have no fucking clue what this means, but I like it. It sounds nice. Number 93. Without freedom of speech, I might be in the swamp. This is from a song called Motor Psycho Nightmare, which is a really interesting ballad. It's a story song. He's telling a story about this guy who maybe is a doctor. He says he's a doctor. He also says he was born at the bottom of a wishing well, but he's lost. He's traveling. He's on foot. He's in the middle of nowhere. He finds himself on the doorstep of this farmer, and the farmer says, all right, I guess you can stay with me on two conditions. One is that you milk the cows in the morning, and the other is you don't touch my daughter, who's a fully grown, beautiful woman. And there's a lot of references to famous movies in this song. La Dolce Vita is one. Psycho is definitely one of them. It's a fun song, and the crux of the story is when the daughter comes down the stairs and says, hey, do you want to take a shower with me? And he doesn't know what to say because he doesn't want to offend her, but he also knows that if the father catches him, he's gonna fucking shoot him. So he decides he's got to be chased out by the dad. It's the only solution. So he yells, I like Fidel Castro and his beard. It's great. It's so good. But the idea is that he ends up chasing him down the road with a shotgun because he's so upset that this guy he just met today likes Fidel Castro. And the last line of the song is, without freedom of speech, I might be in the swamp. I disagree with him because I would argue that without his ability to run faster than a man with a shotgun, he'd be in the swamp. But, you know, freedom of speech is good. Number 92. When I was leaving the bay, I saw 3 ships a-sailin', and they were all heading my way. I asked the captain what his name was and how come he didn't drive a truck. He said, my name is Columbus, and I just said, good luck. This lyric is from what I think is probably my favorite Bob Dylan song. It's not necessarily the one with the best lyrics, but I think it's my favorite one. It's one of the first ones I ever heard. It's a song about Bob Dylan coming over on the Mayflower with a bunch of sailors and discovering the United States of America. But as it is today, it's super weird. But like essentially he starts to experience all of the worst parts about being a United States citizen and all the horrible things you have to deal with and is like, fuck this, I'm out of here. But on his way out, he passes a group of ships coming in. It's Christopher Columbus. And Bob Dylan's like, good luck, man, you're on your own. Number 91. They say, sing while you slave, but I just get bored. It's from the song Maggie's Farm. Great song. Famously just... I mean, it's the song that like nearly ended his career because he sang it electric at a folk festival and people lost their goddamn minds. People were different back then, man. If you plugged in an electric guitar at a folk festival, people would try to kill you with an axe. But I like that line because it's a little bit like someone telling you like, hey, why don't you think of the positives? And you're like, fuck you. Number 90. Everybody is making love, or else expecting rain. This line is also from Desolation Row. We heard a lyric from Desolation Row a little bit back. We're probably going to hear a few more in this list. I really like this song. It's really long. It tells a lot of stories about a lot of different people. And this line in particular kind of sums up a specific experience that a lot of people feel. Sort of a feast or famine kind of thing. Like you're either in it or you're sad. Highs and lows, you know? It's a hell of a thing. This Bob Dylan guy's a good lyric writer. I think he's going to go far. Number 89. You know I love you. And furthermore, when it's time to go, you got an open door. It's from the song Silvio. It's a fun song. I don't know. It's not one of his like most lyrically powerful, but it's fast, it's upbeat, it's happy. It's very different from a lot of his other stuff. And this line specifically, I don't know what it is, man. It feels so good to say, I love you, but if you want to leave, there's the door. There's something that feels so good about that, right? Like, there's an exchange of power that's happening here and an insane juxtaposition from one end of the spectrum to the other. I love you, but when it's time to go, you got an open door. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. I don't know. There's something very vulnerable and powerful at it at the same time, which is something that I've always been drawn to, sort of power through vulnerability. Number 88. Something is happening here, but you don't know what it is. Do you, Mr. Jones? This is from the song Ballad of a Thin Man, and holy hell, what a song. My God. I mean, it's clearly inspired by some sort of drug concoction, but it also is peak trying to figure out what the hell Bob Dylan is talking about. Bob Dylan has gone on record multiple times to say that his lyrics don't have meaning. Obviously, that's not true. Some of his lyrics have very clear and obvious meanings. Look at something like Positively 4th Street, which is literally just lines like, you got a lot of nerve to say you're my friend. That has a meaning behind it. Even if it's not based on like a specific circumstance, everyone has had the ability to relate to that song at one point or another in their lives. I think the song Ballad of a Thin Man is really no different than that. But obviously every aspect of this song sprang from his subconscious in some way or another, so they were inspired by something. And the fact that the character in the chorus repeated over and over again is named Jones is not lost on me. Number 87. I need a dump truck, mama, to unload my head. Oh man, this one's from a Buick 6. I think it's the only lyric from that song on this list, but man, that's another fun song. It's a little bluesier, a little upbeat too, fast-paced, a good tempo, but I love that line. Like, my head is so full of absolute garbage. It's so full of stuff just like whirling around in there. I need a dump truck to unload all of it. I don't know, I really like that metaphor. And also using something sort of like industrial and dirty, like a dump truck. It's made for like heavy construction work. I just think there's some great imagery in that. Number 86. I wish I could write you a melody so plain that could hold you, dear lady, from going insane. That's from the song Tombstone Blues. That's another one that is wild. It fires out like a fucking bat out of hell. And I personally can really relate to this lyric. I've known a lot of people in my life who I wish I could just write them a song that would keep them from losing their minds. But I'm told that's not how therapy works. Number 85. Businessmen, they drink my wine. Plowmen dig my earth. None of them along the line know what any of it is worth. You might have known that's from the song All Along the Watchtower, which is a fantastic song. It's so good Jimi Hendrix covered it, and fucking just, I can't think of a word that means good. I was going to say wrecked it, demolished it, destroyed it. I mean all those in a good way. Man, he just, chef's kiss. A lot of people don't like it when Dylan's songs get covered. I think Dylan's songs were made to be covered, right? Like, he's a songwriter. He's not really the best singer or guitarist. Jimi Hendrix is much better at both of those things. But this lyric is another lyric that I think everyone can relate to. Businessmen, they drink my wine. Plowmen dig my earth. I mean, I've definitely worked for a lot of businessmen and plowmen, as they're named in this, who have taken advantage of my work or my time or my... It's just... It is so easy to be taken advantage of. And that's what this lyric is about. Like, they're taking the product that you are creating and they're not giving you back what it's worth. Welcome to employment in the United States, am I right? Number 84. Sarah, Sarah, so easy to look at, so hard to define. It's from the song Sarah, you might have guessed. I really like that lyric just because it has a nice juxtaposition to it. There's an antithesis to it in the same sentence. So easy to look at, implying that she's beautiful. So hard to define, implying that she's an enigma. Number 83. There's no success like failure, and a failure's no success at all. That's from the song Love Minus Zero. I just really like that because there's no success like failure. implies that failure is a success, and then a failure is no success at all implies that it isn't. It's just another juxtaposition that I really like. Number 82. I got a friend who spends his life stabbing my picture with a Bowie knife. Dreams of strangling me with a scarf. When my name comes up, he pretends to barf. I've got a million friends. It's from I Shall Be Free, number 10. I just really like that line. I got a million people who are like this, and they're my friends. So yeah, this has been part 1 of the 101 best Bob Dylan lyrics of all time. Thank you so much for watching. Consider checking out our podcast, The Media Lunch Break, and subscribe to our channel if you feel like it right here on YouTube, and check out our videos. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.